I'm Peter Richardson, and it's the annual general meeting of D2N2's Local Enterprise Partnership. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time and the trouble and the effort to come to our third annual general meeting here. It's our annual conference, and it was really important that we introduced to the audience David Ralph, our Chief Executive.
At the heart of LEPs is how they add value, potentially to the context of combined authorities, and specifically how the private sector contribution can add real insight, impetus and value. This is all about behaviour, this is about know-how, and this is about effective business processes. With the increasing financial challenges facing local authorities, the need to produce real, clear implementation plans that will attract private sector funding as well as funding from the public sector will become increasingly important.
What we also wanted to do today was give the audience an opportunity to think outside about what economics might mean for our area. So we invited Trevor Williams, the Chief Economist of Lloyds Bank, to come and talk to us about his view of the UK economy.
One of the great things that the UK has been able to do is to talk about austerity, but not to do as much as the rhetoric suggests. And that's absolutely the right way to do it. Why would you want to tie in too much? After all, borrowing costs are currently around 2.2% for 10-year money. That's pretty low historically. It's less than the growth rate of the economy, which means that we're able to continue to pay down debt and borrow. Great. Long may it continue. So long as we continue to get that budget deficit down and net debt stops rising.
It was also important that we give opportunity to look outside of what could be today's world, and we introduced Christopher Barnatt to the audience, who's a futurist, who would give us a whole different perspective of what might be the new economy.
We're in a situation where the technologies we currently have is quite distinct. 3D printing, nanotech, synthetic biology. They're all about taking a digital model and turning it to a physical thing. And my prediction is over the next couple of decades, they will merge. We will build a new economy based on nanoscale machines. Now, when I say that, people go, "You're bonkers." But it's worth pointing out, we've already built an economy based on nanoscale machines. Here's one of them. This is a microprocessor. About 1 billion chips on that, so you can get up to about 6 or 7 billion these days.
My message to the audience was that D2N2 is the UK's most inspirational postcode, but that we had to be in partnership and collaboration with business and the public sector, the socials, the third sector, the colleges, the universities, to really make that happen. And that at the heart of all of this is creating sustainable jobs and a quality of life that we would all be proud of. I want to see HS2, and I want to see Markham Vale, I want to see Infinity Park, I want to see Nottingham Boots Enterprise Zones, all go from strength to strength, and there is work to do in all of those areas to unlock the greater potential that there is. I think it's fair to say that local enterprise partnerships are really what the private sector and the social sector, the charities, are all about, and what we need to do is make them much more participative going forward, and I hope today's inspired that.
I thought it was excellent, inspirational speakers, really informative, and actually for me it just showed us what we can be great for. Great.
I thought it was a brilliant event. Obviously Trevor Williams gave an overarching view about the economy and the state and where it's actually going, and obviously given us food for thought. And obviously with a whole angle of technology, etc., and how that's going to impact and change. It just gave us a lot to think about.
Thoroughly enjoyable. It's often very good to take time out of the office and just to have an opportunity to think out of the box a little bit.
What intrigued me was the insightful presentation about productivity and the gap that we've now got to address in terms of skills improvement and filling that productivity gap.
It's been very helpful also to get the support from D2N2 for the Grand Tour project that the visitor economy has been supporting over the last
6 to 9 months while we've put that together, and that went live about a month ago. So very important that we've had their support for that, so thank you.
When we look back in 12 months' time, I hope that what we will have seen is a real delivery of a key set of projects that were highlighted by our local authorities and the private sector. But what I most hope will have happened is that we will have driven the skills agenda and the business of productivity to a new level. And I think it's through a collaborative approach that we will have achieved that. Thank you very much.